we go. Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Ajhayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam. Recite this Mangalacharan with me. तीन भुवन में सार वीतराग विज्ञानता शिव स्वरूप शिव का नमः त्रियोग संहार के. Okay, very good everybody. So please write down your answers on the chat. I'd like to have them. And by the time we are moving on with the fourth verse, are there any questions regarding Nigod or Ekendriya that you did not understand? Because it's quite a tricky thing. You might understand it today and you might forget it tomorrow. So it's better that you ask me some questions so that topic becomes quite clear to you. Fine. Some of the examples are there in front of you, like potatoes, carrots, onions, broccoli, etc. You may not use them. You have to come up with your own. Okay. Fine. These are all called as Tiryanch life forms. All of these have only one sense organ, that is called as touch, and they have one body and infinite number of owners. Not a single owner, but infinite number of owners. This is what we have studied in the previous verse. I'll just give you a very small snapshot of what it means. Tas Brahman ki hai bahu katha. The wandering's story is quite very long. Pe kachu kahun kahi muni yatha. So like Muni, the journey of the soul is very long. Of the wandering is very long, immensely long. So our Eastern monks have written something in short for us to understand. In the same way, Daulat Ramji is also helping us understand what it means. Okay? Okay. Now, the soul has taken the form of a being. The soul has taken the form of a being with one sensory organ and lived in Nigod. So this is what it means by Nigod. Again, please have a look at it very carefully because the journey is going to get a little more complex after this. Okay. Now, as we have started the journey with one sensory organ, where are we going to lead to? What will be the next stop for us to talk about? If we have talked about one sensory organ beings, what is, please raise your hands, what will be our next stop? I think we all, all of us know the numeric table. I'll ask this to Javish. Here you go. Yes, Javish.
What's the question?
Yeah, we had talked about the.
I didn't understand the question.
Fine. We had talked about one sensory organ beings. So now in the second step, about whom are we going to talk? Javish, what comes after one?
Body.
Two, yeah, that's what it is. So we had talked about one sensory organ beings, and now we are going to talk about two sensory organ beings in the next, verse. In the next verse. Okay, let's see what this particular verse is telling us. It is again, talking to us about single sense beings. That means those beings which have only one sensory organ. So we are talking about that once again. So let's see what the fifth verse is trying to tell us. Yes, Adi, you want to say something?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I just recited it.
Yeah, fine.
I just tried.
Okay, no problem. Now you need to recite it after me, one line, one after the other. Ek, what was the rhythm? एक श्वास में 8-10 बार जन्म्यो मर्यो भर्यो दुख भार
जन्म्यो मरियो भरियो दुख
So many yo's. निकसि भूमि जल पावक भयो
निकसी भूमि जल पावक भयो
पवन प्रत्येक वनस्पति थयो
Out of left. Ayo.
Oh my God. Fine. Very good, everybody. Let's try to understand this particular verse. This verse is talking about एक श्वास में 8-10 बार. Now, one shwas means one breath. Adi, why is your hand raising? Is there a question?
I know what this means.
Oh, you know what it means. Let me, tell the meaning first, and then you can help me out in case I'm wrong. Thank you. Okay. So, एक श्वास में, एक श्वास में. Ek shwas means one breath. You know what a breath is? So this is called as ek shwas, one breath. 8-10 means 18. 8 means 8, 10 means 10. 8 plus 10 is 18. Bar means times. Janmyo means have gotten birth. Maryo had died. Bharyo dukh bhar had experienced lot of dukh, misery or unhappiness. Fine, words are clear. I'm going to tell you the meaning of the words once again. Ek shwas mein means in one breath. 8-10 bar means 18 times. Janmyo maryo, that means had gotten birth and death. Bharyo dukh bhar, had experienced unhappiness or misery. Lot of misery and unhappiness we have experienced in that particular stage and age of life. Okay, so I'll yes, Veer.
Sorry, you cut out when you said Janmyo Mario. What it meant? Could you repeat that?
Yeah,
please?
Janmyo means having birth, and Mario means to die.
Okay.
So Jan means birth and Maran means death. So 18 times we had in one breath, the time duration of one breath, we had gotten birth and had gotten death for 18 times. So it's like 36 times.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the time when we had only one sense organ, that is touch. So in the previous one, we had talked about Nigodya Jeev, and right now we are talking about those one sensory organ beings, organisms, which are apart from Nigodya. Fine. So there are two types of single sensory organ beings or organisms. Single sensory organisms, there are two types. The first one is called as Sadharan, and the second one is called as Pratyek. Please write this down somewhere. The single sensory beings are of two types. The first type is called as Sadharan, and the second type is called as Pratyek. So the Sadharan is nothing but Nigod or Nigodya Jeev, and Pratyek is nothing but, it is categorized in those 5 ways: fire, water, land, air, and plants, flora, fauna. Sorry, not flora. Yes, flora and fauna. Yeah. Okay, great. So in all these 5, the 5th one is called as Vanaspati. So this Vanaspati has 2 types. The first one is Sadharan and the second one is Pratyek. Okay. I'll say it again. Try and understand, a little. Yes, Archana ji. Somebody else has also raised a hand. Yes, Archana ji.
In Shivir, or
I'm really unable to understand anything.
Sorry, Pandit, asking Sadhana or where does the power give?
I'm sorry. I'm really unable to understand. But I'll ask you to make a chart now. I think I got what you are asking. Wait for a second, Vinci. Wait for a minute. Let me make this chart and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So let's start making a small chart. The heading of that is called as one sensory being. Okay. One sensory organisms. Okay. At one sensory organism, in bracket you can write down sthavar. This is called as sthavar. In Hindi it is called as sthavar. Sthavar has derived from a word. Sthavar means which, the root of which does not move. That is what is called as sthavar. So one sense, we are talking about those beings which have only one sense. Okay. So this one sense is then divided into 5 different ways. One sensory being is divided into 5 ways: land, water, air, what else? Prithvi, Jal, Agni, fire. Yeah, thank you. Fire. And then the last one is, Vanaspati. Vanaspati means, flora, fauna.
plants.
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 The 5 are, again, I'll tell you. The first one is, what was that? Land,
And
air, water, fire, air, and plant. Plant, or also you can write down flora, fauna. Okay, fine. Write down plant only. Now then, this plant is subdivided in 2 ways. This plant is subdivided in 2 ways. The first one is called as Sadharan and the second one is called as Pratyek. So in Vanaspati, there are 2 ways. In the plant, just a second, just let me finish this and then we'll talk about it. In the plant division, there are 2 types. The first one is the Sadharan and the second one is Pratyek. Fine. So the Sadharan is nothing but Nigodya. So, below Sadharan, you can make a small bracket and write down Nigodya.
Sorry, Panditji. So the Nigodya Jeev will be just a type of plant? No other form of single
No,
sense
no,
organ?
no other, only one. The plant is divided into, just a second, just a second. The plant is divided into two. The first one is Sadharan and the second one is Pratyek. The Sadharan is nothing but Nigodya Jeev, and Pratyek is what we see through our eyes. So the plant that we see from our eyes is nothing but Pratyek Vanaspati. But others, like, in potato is not actually a plant. It's not actually a fruit as well. It is a kind of vegetable. So in that, they have only Nigodya Jeev and nothing else. Yes, now I can have a question. Yes, Sachi was saying something.
So fauna are the animals, yes?
Yeah, yeah. So maybe
Okay.
we can skip them. Flora is what I'm trying to
It
say.
was flora.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
Panditji,
Yes, Archana ji.
so all root vegetables will come under Nigodia category, right?
Yes, yes. And there
Okay.
are others as well, but that is quite a suspense. I'll talk about them a little later.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Panditji, all the parents are also learning today. So
I'm very happy. I am most happy. Thank you. Chaliye, let's move ahead. Veer, are you okay with it? Any problems or something? Nothing?
No, no problem here.
Okay, okay.
So we will find it.
Chalo. So again, in short, I'll just tell you this a little fast so that things become quite even with among us. We are talking about single sensory beings. This is particularly divided into 5 categories: land, water, air, fire, and plant. This plant is subdivided into 2. The first one is Sadharan and the second one is Pratyek. The Sadharan is nothing but Nigodya Jeev, for which we had already talked about in the previous verse. Now in this particular verse, we are going to talk about rest others. And actually, I don't know how the things are going to be again very difficult in case if I go a little more deeper into it. So this Ath Dash Bar, this is also another kind of a category. Look at this in the first line of this verse. I mean, the explanation of the first line. In the smallest stage of Nigod, just a second. Yeah, in the smallest stage of any single sensory being, a jeev lives and dies 18 times in a breath. What is a breath? So a breath is 0.0127 minutes. You can, counter that down into seconds. And if I do that, it should not be more than a second. To 60. So 0.6 or something. So 0.6 seconds is equal to 1 breath. Fine. This is a mathematical concept which is written in other scriptures, like Gomatsar Jeev Kand is the name of one of the scriptures, where they have given a calculation that I cannot give you the calculation. It will be another set of different and difficult. Sorry?
0.76 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. 0.76 seconds. You just have to multiply this number by 60 and you'll get it. Thank you very much, Sachi and her mother. So 1 breath is 0.7 something seconds. I have a short-term memory loss, so don't worry. Fine. So this is what is a breath. So in this much small amount of time, this much small span of time, 18 times a jeev, a single sensory being, dies and again rebirths, dies and rebirths. So this is how, this smallest stage takes place. So as the Daulat Ramji had told us that he's going to begin the journey with the smallest level of beings and then go to the, highest level of the beings. And then he will tell us again about these. So this will become a vicious circle. Does all of us know what a vicious circle is? Adi, no. Archana ji, I mean, what is the name of the girl here with Archana ji?
Yeah, Ashi.
Um,
Ashi. My name is Ashi.
my name is Ashi, and
Thank you, Ashi. Yeah.
circle of birth and death.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I was actually asking for a very common meaning of vicious circle. Vicious circle is a circle where we start a particular thing and we end with that particular thing. So that is called a vicious circle. Like, we start off from waking up. We start our day from the bed and we end our day on the bed. So the bed becomes a vicious circle for us. We take a journey and we come back to it. This is what is called a vicious circle. So this Nagoya Jeev, which has a life of living and dying for 18 times in a breath, this is the smallest being anybody can be. There cannot be a being which lives for even smaller amount of time. So this is the smallest stage of any living being possible. Am I clear with this now? You can nod, no need to do anything else. We'll go there. I mean, oh, somebody's playing with my screen. Thank you. I'm very happy. Okay, let's go back. So yes, we were talking about. Thank you. Oh, now I am playing with it. Okay. So the first line says, "Ek shwas mein 8-10 bar." That means in one breath, 18 times. Janmyo maryo bharyo dukh bar. The birth took place, the death took place, and the person experienced hell lot of unhappiness. Fine. So this is what it means by the first two lines. Clear, everybody? I think yeah. Okay. The next two lines. Nikasi bhumi jal pavak bhayo. Nikasi means after coming out of that stage of Nigod or any other life form, as we have come out from there, we got bhumi means land, jal means water, pavak means fire, pavan means air, and pratyek vanaspati is the left out part from the plant. In the plant there were two categories. So we had already talked about sadharan. So pratyek vanaspati is mentioned here. Clear? So now the sensory. Oh my God, these many questions. What's wrong with somebody? Okay. So we have somebody. Is somebody? Oh, I'm so sorry. Vinci, go ahead with your question.
Oh no, before you answered it, so it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So in the Nagoya stage, the person lived for several years. Okay. The Nagoya Jeev lived for several years. But then as soon as it came out of there, it got a life form of either, the land, the water, the fire, the air, and the pratyek plant, the pratyek vanaspati, which means the pratyek part of the plant. Clear? So this is how we have completely covered single sensory beings in two verses, verse number 4 and verse number 5. Any questions so far? No. So now I'm going to read the chat wherein you people have helped me out. Okay.
IMG, one question.
Yeah, please.
If the Nagoya Jeev dies in 18 times, takes births and dies in 18 times in less than 1 second, how does it get time to have this infinite wishes within that short time frame?
Wonderful. That's a wonderful question. Okay. Okay, let me answer that question first, and then I'll look at your chat. See, wishes are something which are of two types. One is identifiable and the second one is non-identifiable. इसके लिए the words are mentioned, भेद रूप and abhed रूप. So for all of us, we, figure out our wishes, but then, with one wish, there are infinite number of other type of wishes which are attached to it. Like, I want to have the best for my child, for my boy. So like, I want to make my son an engineer. Now, this is not one wish. This is a wish for several years, for several moments, I think you're trying to understand. In a lot of ways, it belongs. I not only want to make him an engineer, I want to make him a responsible citizen as well. I want to make him a religious man as well. So what I mean to say is there are infinite number of wishes it has, but then these are such kind of wishes which are not very openly, expressible, but then they are very subtle in nature. Fine?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Fine. So now let me have a look over the answers that you have given to me. Yeah. Veer has said algae. Algae. Oh, I don't know what is the British pronunciation of that. Algae. Am I correct? Algae. Okay.
Yes.
Algae. So algae is quite identifiable, and it has no one single. I think that's a correct answer. Very good. Thank you. Jaivish has written a tree. A tree, my dear, is a pratyek vanaspati with Nigodia jeev. So that's not, that is half correct. I cannot say it's a fully correct answer, but this is a vanaspati, is a full-fledged vanaspati. So it has both the things. It has, sadharan as well as pratyek, both the kinds of vanaspati in it. Thank you. Okay. Sachi has answered some of them for me. A banana, a turnip, a cucumber, a ladyfinger, a radish, carrots, garlic. Okay. Can somebody tell me what is a turnip? In Hindi or in any other language? I mean, yeah, I don't know much languages. What is a turnip? Parents.
It's like a vegetable.
Yeah, that I got. But does somebody know what it is called?
Sakarkand.
Acha, shakarkand. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
A bit like
But,
that, something like that.
yeah, quite satisfactory, I think. Okay, fine. So I just overwrite the annotation. How do we do that? Okay. So banana.
Sorry, it's called sarjam. Panditji, sorry.
Shaljam. Okay. Shalgam or shaljam. I got it now. Yeah, thank you. Fine. So banana. Banana has 3 stages. The first one is a raw banana of which we have chips. The second one is a banana which is ripe. Now there is one more type of banana which is, raw, which is more raw to the raw banana itself. Now that banana is a Nigodia jeev, but then the rest are all pratyek vanaspati. So, 1/3 correct. Turnip is, Nigodia jeev, correct answer. Cucumber, again the same thing. The raw cucumber is a Nigodia jeev, whereas, the ripe cucumber which we eat is not, that. It is a pratyek vanaspati. Then ladyfinger is a pratyek vanaspati, but radish, carrots, and garlic, they are all Nigodia jeev. So perfect. Thank you. Next is Adi has answered all plants. That's a very good assessment. But my dear, plants are all pratyek vanaspati. That means they have a life of their own too, along with several others, like a tree. Sweet potato. Sachi has answered sweet potatoes. Again, a very correct answer. Next, Vinci has answered corn, but again the same thing. The unripened or raw corn is a Nigodia jeev. but a ripened one is a pratyek vanaspati. Archana ji has written, I think, on behalf of Ashi. Matlab Ashi might have written on her name. So the answer she says is onion, and onion is again a correct answer. Darshi has written broccoli and radish, correct answers. Now Vinci has to tell me what is auber. How am I going to pronounce that?
It's aubergine.
Aubergine. Okay, what is that?
Bangan.
Acha, yeah, again a very correct answer. This is a Nigodia jeev. Only Nigodia jeev live in there. Ginger, correct answer. Adi. Carrot, correct answer. Vinci. So done with it. I hope you are trying to understand what I'm trying to tell you in this particular fashion. Okay, so now we are done with Ekendriya jeev. I'm just giving you a very short pickle. No. Pickle is a separate entity. We'll have to talk about it some other time. Okay, now let me give you a short view about this particular thing. So the first two lines talked about the smallest stage of any single sensory being. It can be of Nigodia also. So 18 times they take birth and 18 times they die. There can be other types of Nigodia also, which have a lifespan of 1 second or 2 second or 3 second also. Here we are only talking about the smallest ones. Okay. So there are miseries of Nigodia jeev. Yeah. The miseries of Nigodia jeeves talk about, first one is infinite wishes. So infinite wishes means they have, numerous amount of wishes. It's like, how do I tell you? Yeah, you're living in a cell, in a prison, and at that particular moment of time, you cannot do much, but then your wishes escalate to a different level, and you have several and several of wishes. You plan for several things, but then they do not, actually happen. So this is how we, can understand a little about Nigodia jeev. They have very less knowledge. Another very good question, that they have such less knowledge and still have these many wishes. My example will be again the same. You live in a cell, you know very less of the world, but still your wishes don't stop. They, keep on piling up. The last one is, hence non-fulfilling wishes causes severe pain. So the knowledge part and the wishes part kills them from inside, and hence it causes severe pain to them, severe misery to them. So let's conclude. So in
Pandit,
yes, Ashi.
sorry, this is Ashi's mom, Panditji. I just
No
have a
problem.
question. I
Yeah.
don't understand the thing that they have a infinite wishes and they have very little knowledge. I thought that knowledge is like linked to your brain. So if you don't have that brain power, then how do you feel the pain? I mean, is it not linked? Like the pain is not linked to the knowledge, or something?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Thank you very much. The answer is given by Todar Malji. I don't know whether you know his name or not. This is written by Daulat Ramji. Whereas, the book which has the same index is Mokshmar Prakashak. So it was written before it by Todar Malji. Todar Malji has rightly answered this question in a very good fashion. He's basically trying to tell us, matlab, you need to understand this a little, that you talk about mind, brain, and its working. Mind, brain, whatever you talk about, these are those things which are with us. We are all Sangi Panchendriya. We have this special ability to think. But with other sensory organ beings, they don't have the ability to think. Now, like I ask you a question, how do you imagine, an ant? We know an ant, we can see it everywhere around. It has very little knowledge, like, oh my God. It has very little knowledge. The knowledge is very less. Still, it does not stop. You will never see an ant sleeping. They keep on moving and moving, moving and moving, piling up, collecting up food everywhere. They just keep on going. The reason behind their going is their wishes. This is not, the wish here is not the imagination of future. It is the imagination with which the collection matters. The roaming around matters, like a fly. A small fly would always imagine to go out of the world, look at places everywhere around, but will not get any happy. So find that basic
Okay.
need of wandering doesn't stop. And there are two particular kinds of things you can understand here also. Like the delusion doesn't stop. The attachment doesn't stop. The aversion doesn't stop. So in that way, oh my God, Darshi is really having a good time. Okay, so delusion, attachment, and aversion, they do not stop. These keep on piling up, and hence they create wishes. This wish is not particularly a wish that we have for the future. These are the wishes of the present. Fine? Okay. Now we move on to the next part.
Yeah,
of
got
this.
it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. We talk about the second two lines of the verse. The next two lines talk about, yeah, Sachi,
I have another.
go ahead.
I didn't exactly remember how you explained how can they say all their wishes in just a matter of time. Like
Acha,
infinite wishes.
I
just
think
in a matter
it
of
will be
time.
better that I talk about it tomorrow as the time is going by. So first thing we'll do about we'll talk about the Nigodia's unhappiness. First thing in the next class. I'll just finish off with whatever we have studied today. So after coming out of Nigod, this Jeev takes Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Vanaspati. Prithvi means land, Jal means water, Agni means fire, Vayu means air, and Pratyek Vanaspati is the other part. This Vanaspati is divided into two, Pratyek and Sadharan. Sadharan is nothing but Nigodya, and Pratyek is nothing but, Pratyek.